So it seems as though in this world, evil is going to prevail.
Yeah.
And by all means, yes, in a sense, maybe. But ultimately, evil can never prevail. Good is always going to outweigh evil. And maybe not in this particular lifetime that we're living in, that we might not see this, but it's a plan of what we call salvation, if you will, right? Like the war against good and evil.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so that's why I'm like, evil will think it's going to do what it does, but it's really not.
You are now tuned in to the dopest podcast, What's Been Better, with Sly and Lori's Sit and Chop game. So buckle up your seatbelts and open up your mind. What's Been Better is about to go live.
Just make your shirt straight.
Okay. You ready?
I am.
All right, y'all. This is episode 28. Let me start that over. This is episode 28 of What's Been Better. I have no idea where this is going to go today. We've had a lot of technical difficulties, but we're together. We're together, and that's what's important.
That is.
Ma'am. Okay. Let's have some normalcy. What's been better, Lori?
Oh, we start with me.
Yeah.
Shit. Okay. Well, let's see. What has been better? Let me look. Okay. I got something that's better.
Okay.
Because you know I'm all about my baby trees.
Yes.
Okay. So the first thing is we got a noise, a ultrasound like sensitive, like spotlight kind of thing.
Okay.
So when the deer come out, they get. We can get that.
And that's exactly what it sounds like. It screams at you.
Yeah. So hopefully it screams at them motherfucking deer.
Are you tired of the deer?
Yeah, because y'all, I know this might not even be something that y'all even care about, but I hope you are, because one of these days, somebody's going to plant a tree. And you're going to have it in your backyard, and there may be some deer. And the deer are not trying to eat the trees. They're trying to tear them shits up.
Yeah.
So you were back there today. You saw what it looked like.
Yeah.
What it looked like.
That poor little one rinky-dink. It's been ravaged. Like it just looks like
it looked like a Charlie Brown Christmas.
Help. That's what it looks like. It looks like it's too weak to say help. That's how it looks.
So we have something in place other than what they call liquid fence, because the liquid fence stuff is you spray it on a tree and it's supposed to, they're not gonna like it. Maybe they're mad because they don't like the smell. I don't listen.
Okay.
But the other thing is I have a little space in my backyard that's like bushy and a lot of vines and kudzu and things like that. And I had a tall ass pine tree, like, I don't know, what, about 30?
No, that was like 50 and up.
70 feet.
It was tall.
Right. So we had it removed, and it was a beautiful thing. And maybe I'll send you the video so you can see that shit coming down. That'll be something that
we'll
y'all can
put
see
it right here.
Yeah. And so that's been better for me. That's been a lot better. Oh, also, and I've talked to my middle child, and we chatted for a little bit.
Okay.
And it wasn't bad.
That's good.
So that is good.
How do you feel? Like, do you feel a little bit of relief in talking to her?
Well, to know she's alive, yeah.
Okay.
That's about it. But I will say that I'm thankful that we can have a civil conversation. That's the word. Civil.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And so whenever you all have, and I can imagine a lot of you all have children in their 20s that are living a life that's different from what you would have imagined that they would live. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes you just have to learn to know that what you want might not be what you get.
Okay. So
I'm okay with that. I'm at peace.
Okay.
So that's better. Okay. So what's been better with you, Sylvia?
I don't know. I'm trying to think.
This video is a little bit better.
This is working. That's what's been better. That's what's been better. Because I would talk about my hair, but I don't feel better about it right now. So
I gave her some options. I gave her some options.
Yeah.
But It is what it is.
We're literally, I wanted to get the recording going. So I just have to look like this, and in perpetuity, this is what it's going to look like. But I've had better days. So that's, the video is working. Yeah. And we're together.
Yes. And let me tell you, I miss you guys. I miss y'all so much, man. And just being here in this space together and all the things that we've gone through. Like, I'm not tripping, and I'm learning not to trip about shit no more, because I like to be happy. I realize that, let me tell you, that's not so much just better, but I think that's a whole vibe, right?
I don't mean to cut you off.
That's fine.
Feel like you aren't tripping because you're not going to have to deal with the technical piece of this? Like, is that the little bit of relief?
No, because that's an unknowing for me.
Okay.
Right. So if that was a knowing for me, I would have tried to figure out a way to be okay about that too.
Okay.
Like, if that was a job that I had to do, I'd have been like, okay, let me figure out how to be at peace even with that.
Okay.
I'm trying to be at peace with whatever.
Okay.
Like, for instance, I'll just give you a disclose. I didn't work yesterday. Like, I had no clients yesterday. I had no clients today. For an entrepreneur to not have clients on 2 days straight out of a 4-day week, there's only 2 more days in my week. Yeah, I need my sales. I need to see clients to make some fucking money to live a life.
Right.
Right?
Right.
But what I also understand is I've already put it out there to the universe, to my higher power, to my creator, that I need to work. And I'm going to do the best that I can. I'm not going to just be like, oh, God, help me, and don't do shit.
Not
right.
Like, yeah.
Right.
You have to still do the work in order to get the thing.
Right.
So
what I'm saying is, yeah, I'm not going to be the technical person on this. But even if I were, I would find a way to be at peace and laugh about this, because life has to be, for me, about being at peace and being joyful, because I know what the other part of that is. Yeah. I know what depression looks like. It ain't pretty. I know what being pissed all the time looks like. Yeah. That ain't pretty.
Right.
So I choose to just be chill.
Okay.
You know, and and know that everything's gonna work out. Like, for real. Like, even with our podcast, it hadn't given us the type of rewards that we truly wanted, right? But even that, I think it's going to turn around.
We're gonna see. We gotta pause. Hold on. I'll be here.
Probably should stop eating.
Okay, we're back. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't let myself go out like that.
Well, you're gonna have to do it all over again now, because you cannot have the old episode in this new.
Yes, we can. Y'all, you saw what I look like? I fixed it.
In 2 minutes.
Yeah, I'm not out here playing. Like, I might be a little juicy for a second, but no, ma'am. It was just getting worse and worse. Like, that video the other day when I was like, I'm scared it's gonna be like up around my ears. Yeah, I wasn't. Anyway,
how funny this shit is. It's so funny.
You're getting a raw and uncut. That's what you're getting, because let
me tell y'all, I pray that y'all hang out with us, because we don't give a fuck.
I don't anymore. And the reason why I don't anymore is because I have been listening to podcasts for over a decade. All kinds of podcasts, heavily edited podcasts, heavily scripted podcasts. And then I've listened to drink champs and people that get drunk and people that just talk about everything, and
probably people who smoke and get high, right?
I've hotboxing with Mike Tyson. I've listened to everything, and those people have huge followings, and they have engagement, and they have people that are just like, they'll buy a subscription and they'll do all the things for their podcast, and they just live their life. And I spent a year and some change being stressed out over, what does this look like? How does it sound?
That's why.
So I don't care anymore.
That's why I said, stop caring so much. And my hope is that y'all continue to follow us and continue to support us, because one, we love you all, and And really the whole point is what's been better. Like that's the
Yeah.
thing. We really want to live better lives, and ultimately you can, right? So we're gonna talk about that shit.
Yeah.
you know?
I care that you are here. Yes, I care that you are here. I cannot keep caring about the meticulous points of how we get here, how we interact, whether or not it's 5 of y'all, if it's 40 of y'all. I can't.
And see, I'm not that person to say I told you so.
I feel like you are. I feel like you are.
Low key. Because I'm like, we can't care so much about that shit. That's what we are doing when we care like that. One is really worry.
Yes.
And what we worry about, we're actually asking for the thing we're worried about.
But it's also, I have been conditioned, like so many other women, to believe that it needed to be.
Right. And so this whole purpose of this podcast is to debunk that shit.
Yeah.
It really is. It's to say, you all can have a prosperous life.
Yeah.
You really can. We don't have to be poor and broke and sad and have fucked up relationships and have that. Like, we can start to say, what I really desire, what I really would love, we actually can have it. It's really a possibility.
Yeah.
And let's do that. And if some relationships that we're so holding on to, like with our life, if we just cut that cord, and we let it go, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
You might not be with that person anymore, but guess how better your life would be? Sometimes we need to let shit go.
Yeah. Okay. So
that's my soapbox.
You said you wanted to talk about current events today. So what have you seen or heard, or because I know how you are about like not watching the news but still hovering around and knowing the information. So what hit you enough that you were like, we should talk about current events?
Well, so certain things still concern me as I hear about it. And what was going on between the Palestinians and the Israelis.
Israelis.
I call them Israelites. That's biblical, I think.
Yeah.
But
what's happening in Palestine?
Oh my God. Yeah, because that is a thing that's been happening, and I've seen on Instagram, like they'll say this is too sensitive, and then you got like click anyway. And I think like to see these babies and young children getting bombed and just all the unrest over there, I think is unsettling. I think it's so sad, and it's really depressing, right? And not to say enough already, because if it were here, it would be catastrophic. It would be crazy. These people are people. And just because you don't know them or you're not related to them doesn't take away the hurt, the sadness, the grief that's really devastating these people over here, Yeah. And I just wanted to kind of touch on that. And then the guy who was already, he had mental health issues. The police and authorities had already been to his house. They were warned that he could possibly have a mass killing of people.
Oh, the guy in Maine.
Yes, and it happened anyway. Like, and I think about how it could have happened, like if it was a black person. They would have arrested his ass. They would have taken his guns or whatever. Like, they just would have. Yeah. And it just goes to show, and as I was talking to Sylvia earlier, it goes to show that evil is just evil, and it's just going to be, it seems like it's just going to continue no matter what.
I mean, I think it is, as long as no one is trying to drive it out. I don't think that people change unless you hold them accountable. I don't think people do better until you prove them wrong. So it's like...
Do they do better, though, once you prove them wrong?
I think people attempt to once their feet have been held to the fire and they realize, like, oh, I am fucking up. This isn't appropriate.
Okay, so...
Just think about it. If you let a kid run amok for... I'll give you examples. You see little kids, and they are little teeny kids, and they curse, and everybody laughs. And it's so funny. and they're like not school age yet. If you don't nip that in the bud when they get to school and they talk like that, it's going to be problematic, right?
Yeah.
It's funny and it's cute, but now you're going to hold them accountable when they get to school. And then people are like coming up to the school as parents and being like, why are you being mean to my kid? You never told them that was not appropriate.
Okay. So then you're saying once you let them know what's appropriate, they're going to change?
I'm saying you at least give them an opportunity to, instead of just being like, well, you know how they are. Think of Trump.
Well, that's what I was about to say. But
he has never been held accountable. Never.
So are you saying that right now we talk about evil just running rampant, right? And he's an evil that's running rampant.
Yes.
So you're saying like you got DC, you got New York, and you got Atlanta all hovering around his ass.
And Florida.
And Florida.
And the Southern District of New York.
Okay. So you think he's going to want to fly right after this?
I
think he's going to straighten up and fly right.
I don't think that he is going to straighten up and fly right instantly. But what I am saying is the damage that he's able to do, if he is finally held accountable. Oh, we forgot. Colorado. Colorado also. He's got the 14th Amendment case there to say he can't be on the ballot.
Oh.
I think a case like that is a lot more accountability than New York.
Okay. How's that?
Because if you fine him $250 million and he raises $250 million at each rally, it doesn't matter. It's going to equal out, right? But if you tell him you cannot be president again, it is completely illegal. We are not going to go back on this. We have the backing of the courts, the backing and the backing and the backing, and the people will say you are not getting on the ballot. I think he'll get the message.
Who's going to do that though?
What do you mean? Who's going to do that?
Like, are we going to really do that? Are we going to really
The case is being heard in the court right now.
Okay. Then what about Mike Johnson? That's another Trump adjacent mofo.
Who has never been held accountable.
Okay.
He was allowed to file all these cases, lose all these cases that say that the 2020 election was not a real election or not fair or whatever. It didn't work. Trump's still not president. But no one turned around and said, okay, Mike, we're going to censure you. You can't run for office again. No one held him accountable. Instead, they were like, well, Mike's a good guy. And they made him Speaker of the House.
Right.
That's not accountability. That's what I'm saying. If there's accountability, real accountability, if justice was equal, which is not, then maybe. But because no one said, Mike Johnson, that was bad. You're not allowed to do that. You know that you were lying. He's going to be Speaker of the House.
He is, though.
Yeah.
He is. And so with that being the case, it just seems as though even though they're going to quiet one evil voice.
Yeah, if you cut off the head.
But another evil voice is picking up steam.
Yeah.
And he's evangelical. He's most holy, which...
What did his wife say? Did you see the thing about his wife? His wife has some, discernment from God of, her personality type or something is, directly given to her.
Child.
What I'm saying is accountability is going to be very, very difficult because on January 6, 2021, when all of those people were not treated the same as everybody who was protesting in June of 2020, there was no accountability. All these court cases that you see happening now and all these January 6 people that are going to prison now and they're getting 4 years, 5 years, whatever. Yeah, that's cool. That's fine. We don't know their names. Their court cases were federal cases, so they're not on camera. Because, of course, those kinds of cases are the cases that we should all be seeing. But because you can't have a camera in them, then there's no accountability. Those people will get out of prison and go right back to their life. Because that's not real accountability. Real accountability is what is happening in the Georgia case. Every one of those people has a mugshot. Every one of those people was actually detained. Harrison Floyd actually went to jail because he could not make bail. Yeah, that's real accountability. You actually are taking responsibility for the things that you have done. Think about all the lawyers that have been disbarred now. dealing with Trump. That's accountability.
Well, yes, that's good. But even with the guy who you're just talking about, who was detained for the time that he
Blacks for Trump.
Yeah. What is he doing now that he's out?
Struggling.
He's struggling, but it's not better. He's not wanting to turn over a leaf to do better.
No.
He's doubling down.
Because his accountability has not come yet.
Okay.
It has not come yet. I think it'll be interesting. It'll be very interesting to see what happens with this case. Now that the 4 people that have pled guilty have said that they're going to testify, I think that's different. I don't think that their accountability happened though, because they got probation. Now, I say that, and I have to remember that the American probation system is awful for anybody.
Awful like how though?
Because it's easy to slip back into the system when you're on probation. How much it costs for restitution, how much it costs for monitoring, how much it costs for drug testing. All those things come out of your pocket when you are in the system. So I think, that part, some people, I just want them to spend time in Rikers. I'm looking at you, Donald Trump.
Look, and maybe they should. But
no one should go to Rikers though.
Oh, really?
No, it's awful.
Well, listen,
but I just want, that equity situation to happen of Donald Trump did what he did to the now exonerated 5, and all the time that was taken away from their lives, spending time in places like Rikers. I want that equal to happen to him, but I know it won't. But it would be nice.
It's not. And I
know I shouldn't wish that on people, but I do.
Well, there are no shoulds. So,
right.
It is what it is. I had a hat today that I was going to wear that said it is what it is, but it didn't match my shirt, so I didn't wear it.
Okay.
But anyway, I'm thinking that evil people, unless something major happens, they're going to stay evil. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like, this is happening, and I don't know that it's going to change anything.
Okay, here's where I'm like, there's a chance for the rest of us. There's a chance for the rest of us because, yes, these people are evil. But once we start taking away their microphones, their sounding boards, their money collection, their platforms, that's a lot of accountability. You don't have anybody on your side at that point. If you told Donald Trump that he could not run for president, what would he do? Would he still have rallies? Would he still be inciting as much violence as he is?
He might. I don't know. But what I will say is, say the lady's name that's over this thing in Atlanta again. Like, what's her name?
Faniwillis.
Fani. I like that name, Fani. Fani, and she also looked like an auntie. Like, I saw her at K&G, and and Tommy was telling me, oh, that's her, and she had her bodyguard with her. I was like, oh. And I was just admiring her from behind. Like, she looked like somebody auntie. And she's like, almost like, child, sit down somewhere. Yeah. And so what I want to do is apply all the people who are putting these mofos in their place. Like, I think the more we applaud the people who are doing right, then the people who are doing wrong, not so much to shame them, because I don't want anybody to be shamed.
I think we need that, though.
They are going to be shamed, period.
But I think we need to bring shame back, though. I'm saying, hear me out.
Okay.
We've gotten away from being able to shame people. And I say this because Mike Johnson would not be Speaker of the House had he done what he did, and we actually shamed him.
Okay, so...
You get what I'm saying?
I do, but what I'm saying is, when you shame people, they're going to also feel shame and operate from that vibration of shame. I'm saying, let the consequence be the consequence. I'm saying, bring that back. If you do something that you know you're harming somebody else, there's a consequence for that shit. And so I'm saying, apply all the people who lower the hammer, even if it means your ass got to get the gallows. You see what I'm saying? If you know the rules and you don't follow them fucking rules, you're gonna get the hammer.
Yeah.
And not feeling sorry for people. Now that's a problem. To me, that's synonymous with shame. Oh, well, he didn't do just that bad. Like, no. If he did it, this is what happens. And if we set a boundary and follow through with that shit, I think life would be a lot better.
I think one thing that has to happen in all of this, though, is it has to expose that the system is bad and that it needs to be fixed.
Okay, then the system, even that with the system.
Yeah.
If we have checks and balances in place and the system is not following the checks and balances, then let it be brought to light. And if that's shame, then that's shame. I understand what you're saying. I'm saying, I'm not trying to shame you. I'm just trying to spot the light on, here are the fucking rules and you didn't follow them.
Right. But I think also, yes, I want these people to spend time and like go to actual prison. But then I also have discourse in that because I believe like the American prison system is awful.
How awful? Like how?
It's unequal.
Meaning?
These are federal cases, except for the Georgia case, which is a state case, and except for the New York case, because that's a civil case. So there's no jail time for that or prison time. But I'm saying awful, and you see the conditions in Rikers. You see the conditions on Rice Street here.
Okay, so you're saying that a Trump is not going to go to Rikers. No. He's going to go to some pretty federal prison.
Right. He's going to go to Club Fed. Watch. Okay. Right. Okay. Which is a lot because he hasn't been held accountable in the 70s when he was doing all those shady real estate deals and horrifying those people. And he hadn't been held accountable in the 80s when he was doing those bad money deals. He hadn't been held accountable.
Ever.
So, yes. But I'm saying the American Penal Code and how the system works and how it's heavy-handed with people that look like us. And very gentle with the people that came up with these rules, who knew how to break them, who knew how to get through the loopholes, who knew how to do everything else. It's uneven. So fix it. But I don't know how you fix it. But I'm saying if this exposes that the system is a piss poor system, then let it expose that the system is a piss poor system. But I also don't like that Trump and all his people are like, there's two types of justice in this country. And it's like, black and brown people have been saying that forever.
What the hell are they saying? What two types are they talking about?
Because they're getting held accountable finally.
What does that even mean though? It's two types. What are they saying?
They're saying they're being held accountable and that this isn't fair that they're being held accountable like this.
Go sit down. See, that's what I'm talking about. So we went in a whole circle. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, but then it sounds like if justice is not really justice,
it's not,
and white people are gonna get the hand slap, and black people are gonna get the true hammer.
Look at Trump's case. Who's the one person that stayed in jail in the 19 people?
That's what
it was. The black guy with Blacks for Trump,
right?
Not Trump.
No,
he had his money, not his lawyers. They had their money. Rudy Giuliani got to go all over town.
But look at the dumb guy, though. The black guy.
He was in there. Why would you put your hands on an FBI agent?
That, and then when you come out, you still double down against your own self. That's so...
You're going to get what you deserve at that point.
But it just goes back to, does evil still prevail?
Yes, because people don't learn the lesson. So they keep doing the same stupid stuff.
Right. And so when I think about the things that goes on over in Jerusalem, I guess I can say that.
Well, yeah.
Right.
Because, I mean, it's in Palestine, so yeah.
Right. When I think about that unrest, when you really got the two people warring against each other, which really they're brothers, like y'all, your family. You are family. If you take it back to the core, and if you really take it back to the core, we are all family, and we hate each other, which lets me know that we hate ourselves. That's really the bottom line.
Yeah.
Because if we didn't hate ourselves, we couldn't possibly hate somebody else. No. That's by definition.
And I think the same thing goes in the Congo, Ghana, and a couple other countries in Africa that are warring right now. I mean, we can't talk about one without the other.
That's
because it's all the same. Your neighbors and you're arguing. Right. You shouldn't be over here in the first place. Why are you arguing? Stay on your side. I'll stay on my side. I mean, this argument, especially the Palestine argument, is going to continue forever because no one wants to take the side of the people, which is insane to me. This was Palestine in the first place. go back and read. Like, go back and look at the maps. This was all a terrible idea in the first place. And how it has expanded and been funded so much by America is an even bigger travesty.
So then it sounds like America's an instigator.
Haven't they always been?
But okay, so then if we break that shit all the way down to our own families, because we can look at other people's stuff and have something to say about it.
Yeah.
But let's look at our own families, right? I can imagine that all of us have family members who are toxic, who are always in somebody else's business, who always have something to say, and we feel like, oh, I can't tell so-and-so something because it's going to get back around. Like, I'm saying, let's get our shit together, even in our own homes. You know, relationships. You telling your girlfriend about what your husband did, you know, and you won't talk to your husband about it. You see what I'm saying? Or your best friend, you mad at her, so you tell somebody else instead of talking to the best friend, or your sister, or whatever. It's like, we have to still deal with our shit, because if evil is going to prevail, it's going to keep prevailing because we're not doing what we know we can do.
Yeah. But this is, I have to keep coming back to saying, like, nobody proved you wrong. You kept talking to your girlfriend instead of talking to your husband. Your husband has no idea, so he can't prove you wrong because you never told him. No one proved to you that, like, you should change. You should stop doing that. No one told you. I'm saying this shit right now. You know what you're doing. Like, and I'm saying that to myself. I'm saying that to you. I'm saying that to us. Like, ultimately, let's get our shit together because we know what we can do. And if we know what we can do, like do a little bit better, because even nobody's proving us wrong, we got to go to sleep at night. And I know there's a voice. Some people don't. Some people aren't. So that voice don't turned off? Is that what you're saying? I think that voice has turned off. Think about how, have you ever seen that? It's like it's something on social media, or maybe it was like a survey or something. People that don't have an internal monologue. It's just quiet in their head. How are you living? You never have anything to say to yourself like, ooh, self, we're going to die if we do that. Maybe like the guy who killed all them people in Maine. Because his was just quiet on the inside. I don't know. Because he had a plan. I mean, everybody that does that always has a plan. Because he could have just killed his own fool self. And got it over with. I never understand the people that will kill up a bunch of people. You do a whole mass murder. And then you go out into a forest, or you stand in the middle of the street, or you do whatever. You get into a shootout with the cops. Just get it over with the first time, because you harming other people does not make any sense. It doesn't. It doesn't make any sense. I don't even want you to harm yourself, but I'm saying take yourself before you take somebody else. Because people that walk into a bowling alley in a children's league of bowling is bowling. Why are you killing kids? People that walk into elementary schools, why are you killing kids? What the hell have these kids done to you? Which goes back to self-hatred. Yeah. Because it goes back to that. And why are you killing kids? It could have been because you were a kid at one point and life sucked. And you were angry at whomever maybe abused you or bully or something. You like you're getting back. Just like the people who were in relationships who got hurt by one guy, but they're taking it on the next guy that comes in. Is awesome guy, but you're dogging him out. Or this woman comes into your life and she's beautiful and she has a good heart, but you're fucking her over because somebody cheated on you that you never overcame. You see, and so it's the not overcoming stuff that has you wanting to incite revenge on innocent people. But you see them as the offender. Yeah. When they have shit to do with, so no. Take care of your own shit. Deal with yourself. Because I say this also to parents that get a divorce and you got kids and then y'all just fight and argue in front of the kids, or you go through a custody battle and you're harming your kids. And you are not going to be the person that has to deal with those kids. Their teachers, their counselors, their friends are going to be the people that have to deal with those kids. Deal with your shit before you harm someone else.
And when those children grow up,
they're gonna
do what
going
you
in
did.
a circle.
Yep, and they're also gonna not like you. So I'm just gonna let you know that too. That's not gonna help. But also, you say, oh, you're doing it in the best interest of your child. But how could you do it in the best interest of your child when ultimately you're harming your child?
Yeah.
Because your child ain't married to that person. You were married to that person, but you don't have to deal with them that anymore. And so let that person be a parent to your child, and you be a parent to your child, and let's see how that works.
Yeah.
Oh, girl, it's so many. Listen, we don't tapped on a lot of soapboxes.
I don't even know if it's a soapbox though.
You think?
I don't feel like it's a soapbox because it might be information that people don't know. It might trigger something in someone to go and look up something.
Mm-hmm.
It might help someone to like tap in. Because I come back around to this anytime we do these types of episodes. It's like, I don't understand how anyone is continuing to not tap in. Mm. It's too many things happening that are going to affect you. So I don't know that it's necessarily a soapbox as much as it's like a warning shot.
Yeah, and also reality. Yeah. Like, let's wake up. I think, so I guess what I'm saying is, let us become conscious. Let's be conscious. And even like when you're talking about, like, is there anything going on in your head? Please, let's check in with what is helpful and what's not helpful. So for me, I don't ever want to shame anybody, because shame, I don't think ever works. You'll start to feel bad for a second, but if you're someone who's always feeling bad about something you do, me shaming you is not going to make you want to do better. It's only going to cause you more self-harm. But if we look at what's helpful and what's not helpful, right? If we were really, really, really honest, we would start to be honest. To recognize, maybe I don't have to do that. Like, for instance, if your boss is constantly writing you up or whatever, and you want to go and slash their tires. Now, it might feel good to slash their tires or to do something ratchet to them, right? But is it helpful? And the question is, what is helpful? And I use something like wild here, but it could be something as simple as you going into the break room and somebody's drinking your juice or eating your food. What is helpful? Because to put a laxative in your food, I don't know that would be helpful. Now, that person's going to have the shits and the runs and all that stuff. And you'll get a giggle out of that and it'll be hilarious. But is that truly helpful? And yeah, you might feel good for a second. But is that helpful?
It might ease some pain. I don't know.
What pain is that?
They're going to feel your pain?
They won't, because their ass going to hurt. And that won't be pain that they're going to feel it, but it's not going to have them.
It's not the same pain.
Right.
I'll give you that.
It's not equal. You see what I'm saying?
So
that's why I'm saying that you can't shame people into doing differently. And so you got to ask yourself, what would be helpful?
Okay, so then what's the answer? What is going to be the thing that you think would stop the evil? What's going to stop Donald Trump? What do you think?
I think embarrassing him on a continual basis.
How's that not shame?
Well, okay, so what I mean by embarrassment is to put him, like, set the boundary, and if you do this, then it's a check and a balance. So when, like, for instance, with him actually being called on a carpet, and he actually has to go to jail, and his whole family and all these different things happening, he's going to feel embarrassed. Now, it's not for us to cause that to happen for him, but it's the consequence of it. You see what I'm saying? Like, he might not want to be embarrassed.
Right.
And so for him who might feel embarrassed, hopefully it could be, man, I don't want to feel embarrassed anymore.
But a person like him, see, this is what I'm saying. I think there's a difference. I think there's a difference between embarrassment and shame.
Okay. It is.
Embarrassment, I'm not sure is going to work on him.
Okay.
Embarrassment might turn him even further evil. Shame might make him shrivel up. Do you get what I'm saying? Shame would cause him to say, you know what, y'all, I'm just going to go to Mar-a-Lago and sit my ass down. Embarrassment is how you get another war. Embarrassment is how you get another January 6th.
Okay, so embarrassment might incite anger in him.
Yeah. And I'm saying shame will make you turn inward.
Well, then what if he's just not a happy person, and maybe we can
he's
start.
not. He can't be happy.
So maybe we help him be happy.
I don't want to.
Because if he was happy,
I don't
maybe he
know.
wouldn't be harming people.
But what brings you joy doesn't necessarily bring Donald Trump joy. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Power brings him joy. Yeah. I'm just saying, not allowing him to do things his way, I think is enough.
Okay, cool.
Not
I
allowing
get that.
evil.
Mm-hmm.
And we're calling this person evil. I don't know if that's what evil looks like, because evil could look like a lot of different things to a lot of people.
He's just causing harm to people. Yes.
But what I'm saying is, if there's an option somewhere where he doesn't get to do what he wants to do,
right?
He doesn't have access to the money that he has access to. He doesn't have access to the people that he has access to. He doesn't get, if they could finally shame him and be like, you are no longer president. You are really twice impeached. If they would have really followed through with those impeachments, we would be happier, because there won't be a Donald Trump presidential library.
So basically, we turn off his water supply. That's the thing.
Turn it off.
We turn it off. Just like on Malcolm X, they turned off the water when he was getting a perm. Yeah,
and he had dunked his head in the toilet, and it was off.
Yep.
But I think a place like Palestine, I don't know how you fix that in this current climate, because people don't realize where they're going to be, which side they're going to be on in history, and the things that they are funding and the things that they are aiding and abetting in. I don't know how that's going to work out in the end. I think you have to go back and look at what the original idea was,
which is
of the two states. I think you have to go back and figure out, how do we make these people coexist? Because these people are never going to leave, and these people aren't going to be able to come back home. But they should. They're it's the same as America.
I get it. But
it's the same.
Like your home has been taken over. You know what I'm saying? Like
so then you should just give up and not ever come back?
Well, I'm not saying give up. I'm saying get another home that's better.
I'm saying my home was perfectly fine. I didn't ask you to turn it into rubble.
I get it. But now it's rubble.
Yes, so I should be able to at least rebuild it.
Rebuild it somewhere else.
No.
Why not?
If somebody came and bombed this right here, that you've worked all this time
I would be like, you know what? I had a good run here.
No.
I can't say that for everybody. That's what you should do. But I'm saying
we agree on a lot of shit. I am not agreeing with you on this.
What I'm trying to say is, I'm all for peace. If I gotta fight you for the rest of my life over something that was taken from me,
but you were wrong.
Okay, I was wrong. But guess what?
Okay, wait. You gotta fight me forever. And I'm completely in the wrong. I should have never done any of the things that I did. I should have never even been over here.
Right. Maybe. But guess what?
But so now you're just going to leave?
Yeah, because guess what? I don't have to see your face. I don't have to do any, that's the thing. Like, I don't have to be around you. And you being alone is going to harm you more, because I couldn't give a care. Like, me caring about what you're doing keeps that fuel going.
Okay.
But if I didn't give two shits about what you did, and I go over here, right, and I'm over here and doing my own thing and having a beautiful life, guess what you're going to do? You're going to come over here.
There.
Thank you. Then I get to circle around and come back to my place. Because everywhere I am, that's where you're going to want to be.
Yeah.
Because and not you per se, but you're miserable with your life. And you need me to survive. You need a host to suck on. You need somebody to fuck up and be mad at and whatever. But if I'm at peace, and that's the issue, that's why I'm saying all the things I'm saying. If I'm at peace, you're going to eventually kill me. And you'll be alone. And you don't have nobody else to mess with. And that itself is the thing.
Yeah.
That's what will have Trump being a whole ass miserable
if he
self.
had no one to, okay.
If he didn't have nobody to fuck over and be like, if everybody stopped paying attention to him and turn around.
It's like the bad kids in class. I've taught plenty of teachers out here. You have that one kid that you're like their class clown, class asshole, and you just say, everybody ignore them. And then all of a sudden they start acting right. Yes. But I feel, I still don't know about Palestine.
It's the
Ain't
attention
no
seeking.
motherfucking way I would give up.
I'm gonna tell you, for me,
ride forever.
It's for me. I enjoy my life, and I don't need that to survive. I don't need that. You know what I'm saying? I don't need this land. I don't need that. Wherever I am, I'm good.
Yes, but that's very easy to say than to do.
I've done it.
You have, because you live here and you're from here and you're born here and you have a passport from here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about people that have been perpetually taken from.
Okay.
That option is not there.
Okay, and they're perpetually taken from because of what, though? They've been trying to fight back?
No, because of who they are. Think Black and brown people in general.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have access to the same things that everybody else has. So it's easy to say, just do whatever. Just.
Well, I hear you. I understand. The justice to say it's almost like it's easiest.
Yeah.
I'm really speaking of a state of mind.
Okay.
It's a state of mind to go into, to be one with that thing on a continuous, a little bit at a time. Because if you practice that a little bit at a time, you can't take away somebody's peace of mind.
How were you going to, if I was Palestinian and you met me just after everything that they've gone through right now, they live on the West Bank or they live in Gaza and they live in the northern part of Gaza and they've been told 24 hours to get out of here and they just managed to cross into that little southern part. They still can't get to Egypt yet. They still can't get to Jordan. Well, no, Jordan would be in the wrong direction. They still can't get to Iran. They can't get to anywhere. Okay? How do you tell somebody what you just said? Tell me what you just said. To just not be attached, to just let it all go, and to just be in this mindset that it's possible.
Right. So what it sounds like is they're probably going to die. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm going to live.
Okay. So
you just met me. You're standing there in one of those trucks with the supplies. As there are so many missionaries and people, and you're telling me, who's just watched my whole neighborhood, who had nothing to do with Hamas, who had nothing to do with Hezbollah, who had nothing to do with any of it. I was minding my business. I just so happened to be Palestinian. I was in my apartment, in my apartment complex or my villa or whatever. And as a recourse and as a revenge, they just said this whole neighborhood has to go. There are no Hamas here. None. We are just regular old Palestinians who go to work every day, who take care of our children every day. We don't have anything to do with this fight. We just so happen to be Palestinian.
Right. So you're basically saying you're an innocent bystander.
Yes.
Right.
How do you tell me to just let it go? How have you not created somebody who's going to seek revenge, or someone who is going to turn and want to fight for their land, or someone who wants to, I'm not going to say do the same evil, but I'm saying, how do you tell someone to just give up?
Right. I would first just assess and find out where they are in their mind, because so many people have so many different ways of being.
Right.
So you're going to have some who want to retaliate. How's that going to work for you? If they are like, I don't know what to do, right? What would you like to do? Like, I would just check in with that person. I'm not going to say what to do. I don't want to tell somebody what to do. I want to find out from them as someone who these things are happening to. Now what? What would you like to do about this situation? Okay. Right? Because
your initial thought was just...
Well, because I'm speaking about myself.
Okay.
I'm speaking about what I would do.
But as the perspective, I'm saying, if you were in those shoes, would you still have that same exact perspective?
I think.
Do you think?
What I'm saying is, I think over time that I'm progressing toward a different way of being. Like, I'm transcending evolving into another space. There was a time when I would have wanted to annihilate and to kill these people who are trying to hurt me or exact revenge. But now I understand that anytime I'm trying to exact revenge, the very thing I'm doing, I'm asking for. So revenge is not going to do anything but create a situation where somebody's going to exact revenge on me.
Yeah.
And then we're going to eventually kill each other. And my thing is, at some point, I might just say, I'm going to hold up my white flag. What else is there to do? You see what I'm saying? Like I give in. Okay. I'm going to submit to the thing, whatever that is, because I understand in this lifetime, there are things that I would love to happen, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen.
No, but I think while there's still an option of it being a possibility, I don't know. I'm just a fighter, I guess. I'm just I just think of, okay, we live here and I live in Southwest and Buckhead wants to be its own city right now. They've been fighting for this. Can you imagine if Buckhead got up one day and was just like, all of this is ours? Because that's literally what's happening.
I hear you. And if that's all that's, I'm going to be like, how we going to hang out together?
But they're not talking, we're going to hang out together. They're talking, I'm leveling every neighborhood and I don't want you here. Okay. That's what they're talking.
Okay, so then I'm going to be like, I'm going to sell you my property.
Shit. You work too hard.
If I can sell my property and go somewhere else.
But they're not selling their property. They're just walking into people's... The Israeli settlers have been just taking people's homes and property for decades. They weren't buying anything.
So you're saying they're just bullying?
They've been bullies.
I don't know.
And there's always been bullies.
I know.
So I guess what I'm trying to figure out is not even just this situation. Any situation. Trump's a bully. Some people would say Faniwillis is a bully. Cop City, the Atlanta Police Department are bullies. Some people might say Joe Biden is a bully now because he's funding and funding and funding and funding and not funding things in America. So somebody might say he's a bully. My question is, how do we get people to realize that they don't have to fucking bully? There's enough space for all of us.
What would you suggest?
I don't know. I don't know how you get people to care about other people or to see other people as humans.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Is there a button that you push and you go, I'm a human today? And they go,
no,
yes,
that's what I'm saying. You can't legislate morality. You can't love somebody into loving themselves. You cannot do that.
But why just lay down and take it though? If you know right from wrong, why would you just lay down and take it? You get what I'm saying?
I hear you. Then I think what happens is there are going to be people like me who will allow you to do what you do, even if it means you're going to kill me, because I know in my mind who I serve and whom I belong to. You see what I'm saying?
I get that.
Whereas, because you can't take my life. You see what I'm saying? Like you might be able to kill this body, but you can't kill my soul. You see what I'm saying? In this world, to me, I have higher heights. This world is not the thing.
Yes, but while you're here, don't you want it to be nice?
Yes, and
while you're here, don't you want kids that are coming to like have a chance?
I would love for that to be the case. I would love for it to be the case. But as it stands, it's not. Like, for instance, if I were to have an option now to have children, I would never have children.
No.
I would never have children in this world right now because it's twisted and it's going to get worse. It's not going to get better. No. It's not. I think
it's not going to instantly get better. But do you believe that it's not going to get better ever?
I don't think it's going to get better ever.
Ever?
I think this world's going to end, honey. That's my personal opinion. I think evil is it has to run its course until it's almost like a pimple that has to come out. I think it's going to run its I think it's going to run its course. I really do. Evil has to run its course. And I'll give you an example. The person who slaughtered those people in Maine is a perfect example of evil going to its end. All those people who tried to come in and convince this man to do differently, it didn't change. Unfortunately, he was destined to his doom, and he brought people with him.
Yeah,
that's what happened. That's what's going to happen. Even over in the Middle East, that is what's happening. These people will not stop. They're not going to stop. Even if these people tried to get away, even if all of Palestine said, we're going to leave Palestine and go somewhere else, they're going to continue some kind of way, follow them. There's this hatred so strong that Palestine could go all the way over to Australia. They will find them. They will. So, what do you think? Do you think they wouldn't? Do you think they would?
I don't know,
girl.
I don't know. Yes, I do feel like evil just follows until they use up all their fuel. But what are you supposed to do until then? What are you supposed to do until this is over with?
We have to find some level of peace. That's what I'm trying to say.
But how? How can we find some level of peace when there's options for us to make sure that more people have peace and we don't take them?
Okay, that's what I'm saying. And what you're saying is good in the fact that you think a little differently than I do. And then I'm like, well, I would love to know your thought process. If you're about slaying motherfuckers in their sleep, okay.
I don't want to do that.
But what else is there? You gotta take it by the head. I mean, at some point, you gotta come up with a strategy. But how do you kill evil? Because it's not a person. You can't kill evil.
I don't know. I think we can't tap out though. I get that there are evil. I get that there are legislators that are evil. You know, I feel like. Excuse me. I feel like the Mike Johnsons of the world can't get reelected. So we put our energy towards making sure that Mike Johnson can't hold office again. We okay, you're gonna do all your evil and we're gonna hope for the best. And it's not crazy evil, but we find all the loopholes that they have, and we find all the things, and you know, the lower elections, I don't want to use the word local elections, like what's going on today. Today's Tuesday, October 31st. Happy Halloween, but it's also a day that you could be voting. There are options out there for us to do piece by piece.
And that going
to wipe out all the evil?
Well, it can start. No. And so that's the beginning of the practice.
Okay.
Because we have to start somewhere, and that's beautiful. That is brilliant. We do what we can do. And if we do what we can do just a little bit at a time, we chip away.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what else can we do other than that?
I guess the initial thought was like, we just sit back and let it happen. But
at that point, if we get to the point where we can't, if we done all we can do to stand.
Okay, but I'm saying we got to attempt standing.
Well, hell yeah.
Okay. Well, it didn't sound like you wanted to attempt to stand at first. Okay.
Well, and maybe it seemed like that, but I'm saying I got to do all I can, right? And then when I can't do anything else,
then we're going to lay down and be like, well, y'all got us.
Right.
I'm saying, you're going to have to knock me down first.
Well, I get that, but that's why I was saying, like early on, I said it starts with us. When I talked about your families and all these different kind of relationships, what is helpful? Yeah, we have to do what's helpful. What do you think? Or some people might say do what's right, but see, then there's a juxtaposition to what's right. Then on the other end is what's wrong, right? So we got that, but most of us can agree what can be helpful.
Yeah,
you see, and so if we do what's helpful, stop fucking running your mouth, stop talking about people, try to work on your relationships. Have hard conversations so that it won't turn into something toxic. Because if we don't say something, it's going to turn into something toxic. We do what we can do. And those little things turn into big things.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Ooh, stop trying to fuck people over.
Yes.
All the little things that you're doing behind closed doors that you think will never come out and never get caught. Everybody always gets caught.
Everybody.
Everybody gets caught. It might not be today, it might not be tomorrow, but your ass is gonna get caught.
So that's what I'm saying. Do what's helpful. Do what you know to be right.
Yeah.
Like while you have a conscience, because with the guy killing the people in Maine, his conscience left him.
Yeah.
And when your conscience leaves you, you're on a road to self-destruction, right? So when you have a conscience and your conscience is working with you, honor it.
Yeah.
And if you need to leave a relationship, leave it. Stop trying to hold on. And meanwhile, you're resentful and miserable. Even if it's your child, let your child go. Stop trying to hold on and pay your child's bills and shit. Like, no, even if they have to be homeless, that's the problem. We are afraid. What's going to happen? At some point, they no longer are your responsibility. They are their own responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
And let people be responsible for themselves. And way we can teach them is by being responsible for ourselves. That's how we can teach other people to be responsible for themselves. And those are the chips away at things.
Okay.
So that's really what I'm ultimately saying.
Okay. All right.
That's
a hell of a takeaway, that we have to chip away at the evil in order to stop the evil.
Yes.
I'll give you that. That's a good takeaway.
Okay. So we good?
Yeah. Books, TV,
same old shit. I'm still watching
the morning show.
Yeah,
that shit is great.
It's a good show. I mean,
that's a good show.
And other than that, I'm caught up. So now I have really nothing else to really watch. So we haven't been watching nothing. Okay. And Tommy been going to bed early.
Oh, no.
So I'll listen to Karen Hunter show. Yay for the Karen Rebels. Yeah, I'm a Karen Hunter fan for sure. That's what I've been listening to a lot.
Okay.
And I haven't really been listening to any books lately.
I started In the Flow.
Okay.
This is all in the detox. So I took the locks out.
Mm-hmm.
I started listening to this book. It has to do with biohacking and like trying to figure out your hormones and eating and scheduling and cycles and everything. So listening to that, and it is a lot of confirmation. Okay. It's also a lot of confirmation of we spend so much time studying and thinking about men that there's hardly any information about women, as if we're not half the population
or more.
I
think I would say more. I dare say more.
And as if we are the exact same. Like,
we're not.
That shit don't apply to us. Like, it's not. It's the chromosomes aren't even the same. So how the hell?
Because we got a Y.
Like,
not meaning not women, but there is a Y.
It just doesn't make sense that any of these things are applied across the board as if it's just always going to be the same. Like, medication doesn't even work the same on us. What the hell?
I might have to read that book.
It's very good. It's got a workbook to it and everything. So
how'd you find out about that book?
TikTok, my favorite place.
Yeah. Well, there is another book that I'm actually going through the process, but I have a lot of resource books. But the 12 Universal Laws of Success by Herbert Harris. That's an excellent book, and I'm going through the workbook of it now because I really want to plan my work and work my plan.
Plan your work and work your plan. I like that.
Yeah. So this whole week of Monday and Tuesday kind of being off just by happenstance, it's not going to keep being that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Inshallah. Okay. All right. Well, if you haven't already, like, share, subscribe, do something with this episode and all the rest of them. I don't remember what else I usually say because I have it written down, but thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
That's it for this week's show. I'm Lori Scott.
And I'm Sylvia Johnson. And you've been listening to What's Been Better.
A big thank you to Lagan Music Inc. for providing our music. This show is edited and produced by us with a little help from our family and friends. We love you all.
We want to hear what's been better for you. To be a guest on the show, send us an email to questions@whatsbeenbetter.com. Or you can find us on Instagram and TikTok at What's Been Better Podcast.
Thanks for listening.